Recording is on.
Hey everybody, how's it going? We have a couple people out this week, but we will have Jenny's out this week, so team's gonna help fill in those shoes, and I hope you all are doing well. Welcome to the BAT community call for Tuesday, June 10th, 2025. It is hard to believe that we are already in June, but here we are. Hope you all are having a good week. Couple things, update really quick. Pretty awesome to see. We have now exceeded, registered over 5,000 .brave domains have been registered as of a query I just ran right now. So we're at 5,000. We're at 5,090 exactly, and super cool to see that many people getting the .brave domains, and super cool to see that for sure. And lots of other stuff on the horizon, and a couple other things that are coming up for next week, but I will hold off for then. But I'm not sure who on the team. Does anybody have a deck for this week, or they want to run through, or are we gonna?
Yeah, we've got a deck. It is just being put up.
Oh,
can you see the screen?
Hey, gang.
Hi, everyone. Can you see the screen?
I could. I just was screenshotting something in another window really quick. Now I can see it. Look at you.
Okay, perfect. Okay, hi, everyone. I hope you're doing great. Jenny's out today, so I'm gonna cover for her. Okay, so the BAT X Spaces schedule. So on for recent events on May 23rd, we did Infofy Supercycle, what it means for your community of creators. Then the following week on May 30, we did Has Advertising Lost Its Effectiveness? And last week we did What's the Next Step for Humans in an AI Future? It was actually a very, very great discussion. We had some technical difficulties at the beginning, but we fixed them, so all good. It was a lot of fun. And this week on Friday, as usual, we are doing Word of Mouth, the power of community and creators in Web3. So stay tuned for the post and the link, and join us for the discussion. And now it's Batter's turn.
Hello, everyone. It looks like I'm at the front of the queue today. Here's your ambassador updates of the week. I've got a space with Scott on Thursday. I've done one before, but he's leveled up a lot since then. He says he's got a nice tight 60 minutes, so I'm excited to share that with his audience. MemeCon was a success. It was good to see Gabe and G and meet everyone who I had the opportunity to meet there. At the moment, I'm having hours and hours of meeting potential partners and people who want to buy BAT to use for adverts every day. And the Decentraland wearable claim and party is going to be on June the 19th when Jenny is back. What was
one of the highlights for MemeCon? Like, what was your favorite thing you saw?
Oh, it was good to see. It was good to see the car again. My favorite thing, to be honest, was the max extraction at the end, where they lure you all to a massive bar by the beach and then charge you a ton for drinks because you've got nowhere else to go.
That's awesome.
In all seriousness, one of the things which was most interesting was probably, and they had like these NFC. So on your wristband, you had an NFC chip, and you could link that to you tap that to your phone, and then you opt in to put all your social medias, Telegram, etc. Because it's normally you're like, oh, what's your Telegram, what's your X, what's your LinkedIn, if you swing that way, and you have to do them individually. With that, you could just you touch someone's you touch their wristband, and it gives you all those details. But you can go from store to store and tap in at that, and there was a contest to see who could do the most. And you can have it. You can also get like a really, really nice one printed off, like to keep around your neck as well for future events. Might be cool to get like a Brave or Bat one.
Awesome. Was there anything? I remember, was it last year when you were on stage with the guy and you guys were launching a meme coin from the stage?
It was a lot more subdued this year. People are well and truly familiar with what a meme coin is.
Awesome. Well, it's cool to see that you guys were back there again. I'm sure Guillermo.
Yeah, we made a lot more connections this year than we did last year. Last year, we thought people would still be around on the last day, and they were not. Everyone just buggers off somewhere else on the last day. You have to get it all done on the first two.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was good fun.
So basically, my update is exactly what Pattern just said, but with pictures.
But we get to hear you this way, and you're in a lion suit. Like,
yeah, you got the visual presentation and everything. It was different from last year. I believe that last year was a little bit more crowded, and I had to hear Pattern for the whole time just making jokes about my phone not supporting NFC. So basically, like, it was having fun going to every booth and just having the NFC support and seeing like everyone's bracelets. And I had to sit there and just look at it and be like, "Can I have your Telegram, please?" Because my phone didn't have NFC support, and they were just mocking me. It was pretty fun for them, but not as much for me.
Actually, I forget a thing. My favorite one was there was a place selling wine for Bitcoin. That was pretty good.
Nice.
Oh, that's the first picture. That's the Bitcoin bar. Yeah.
Did you give were you on a panel too, or giving a talk or something like that? Did I see that?
I was, yes. So basically, Mr. Pattern said, "I am privacy. I cannot be on the panel showing my face." So I I replaced him on that panel. It was about meme lore. I'll be on the third slide, I believe.
Oh, okay, cool. Sorry, didn't mean to jump ahead of you.
No worries. This is just a bunch of pictures because last year Jenny said we didn't take enough pictures, so we made sure to compensate this year. We also made a couple of videos because Pattern had like what are they called? Meta glasses. So basically, like, he has Ray-Ban glasses or Meta glass. I thought they were Ray-Bans, but then he can like photograph and take videos with it, which is pretty cool. So it was just walking around and making like videos of the conference and just taking sneaky pictures. It was really nice. The first pictures that you see on the prior slide were actually all taken with his glasses, which I thought was really cool. Next slide, and that's the panel. That is me on the panel, dressed as a lion. Like, there was one prior to me, which was Hoba, which is a meme coin, and the guy was just throwing like stuffed honey badgers at everyone, and like it was just getting like, when he got on stage, there were like 3 of them, and then he like threw the 3 of them, and I was like, oh, okay, he ran out of honey badgers, and then he would go out in the back and it'd bring like 3 or 4 more, and these would just like keep going for the entirety of the 15 minutes. So this guy was just like throwing honey badgers, and at the end, like, everybody on the audience had the honey badger. Was really ridiculous, but it was fun. So we got to talk a little bit about BAT, a little bit about Guano, privacy, and other topics. Like, I don't entirely remember every single topic, but those were the main ones.
What was the main like vibe? Like, what was the focus? Is it on just meme coins kind of staying meme coins, or were there any like themes, or what was your take like from being there?
So NFC is like a big umbrella conference that has like 8 other conferences ongoing. They had like one just for Telegram, they had one just for MemeCon, they had one just for stamps. So it's like a bigger umbrella. Well, they have these little side events or side conferences ongoing, and we attended just the MemeCon one for the panel, but we could walk around and see all the other booths and see what everyone was up to. There was actually Ton there, which is basically like a blockchain built around Telegram, which was quite interesting. I never really heard of it, and was interesting to see like what they could do inside Telegram. They have like an entire ecosystem inside of it.
Yeah, no, we've been seeing more of that too. Was there a certain, since it was a bunch of different conferences kind of within a conference thing, like what did you see like the most movement around, or the most like energy around?
The main one was like the main NFC stage, which was just it was like a tent in the center of a big warehouse. There's just like black curtains all around and like a huge stage in the center. That was the biggest one. Um, yeah, I don't think all of them had stages. I believe there were only 4 stages, and MemeCon was one of them.
Cool, cool. So you think that there's the most hype around kind of like the NFT stuff, or you think other stuff was more? I don't know. What were people mostly excited about? I guess is what I'm getting at.
It was like the flow of it, like the warehouse was organized in a way where you would walk around, you'd see every single one of these side events or little conferences inside the bigger one. So you would visit every single one. So I wouldn't say this one is more crowded than the other. I think they were always all like equally sharing the same amount of people. Um,
That's cool.
one thing that I noticed, like it's a little harder to understand like what's the overall um, vibe of it, let's say, and I'm using that word, but usually like in Solana Breakpoint, in NearCon, it's a little bit easier to understand because there's one centralized exchange where all the projects are building inside of. While here, it's like you'll find people from Dawn, you'll find people on Ethereum, you'll find people on Solana. So in that regard, it's a bit of a mess, and it's harder to organize the contacts and the leads when we're talking to them. But at the same time, it's fun to see how many stuff is being built around Web3 as a whole instead of just being focusing on one central blockchain.
That's cool. No, that's great, man. Thanks for going, and both of you guys, like, thanks for going, and thanks for repping the lion. That's so awesome.
It's every year. It's way too hot for us to be dressed like that, and we got
I
endure it
know.
for
I
the whole
can't
day.
imagine. I can't imagine.
I came semi-prepared this year with a neck thing, blue air, but I've now found one that you put on your belt and it just blows it up your back. Ooh.
Awesome.
So the last thing is that me and Mr. Battern have been doing weekly podcasts every Thursday at 2 p.m. GMT / 10 a.m. EST, and we're having our third episode this Thursday. It's all about Web3 news around inside of the European Union, all about Brave and BAT.
How are those going?
Like in terms of attendance, not so good. In
I
terms of
just mean
fun,
like you guys having a good time. Like,
absolutely.
are people showing up? Like, how's it going?
In terms of like we chose to go with the spaces with X spaces as it's just more convenient place for everyone to join and for us to hosting and distributing. But long term, Mr. Battern really wants to have a visual format, so likely we'll have it either here on Brave Talk or just export it to YouTube or Spotify. We'll have to see like what are the other platforms. We just wanted to put something out there first. In terms of attendance, it's been quite low, but we're having fun of it with it. We're finding like a good format, and I think we are having a really nice flow because we are able to report news, discuss a little bit our own insights on these things that are going on inside Europe, and at the same time, celebrate the little things that are coming from Brave and BAT.
That's awesome. No, yeah, it's cool. I mean, it's always like you always start small and then get the feedback and keep going. So it's super cool to see you guys doing that.
Exactly. Right now, I think we're doing a 20 to 40-minute format. Usually we settle at 30. It's just like we prefer to have packed with good content and good quality rather than going for, overtime or for longer periods.
Cool.
I think it's working pretty nicely. I am proud of these formats, and I would personally listen to them. So I think that's the way to go.
Nice.
Thank you, everyone. Clear 'em away.
Yeah. So, yeah, just a couple updates for me. The May numbers came out this last week, and of course from Brendan, and so we're up over 88 million monthly active users. Woohoo! And the daily active users just under 37 million. So still growing, still going. And of course, Luke, you probably know more than me. Still on track to hit 100 million this year. So that's always exciting. And yeah, we had a pretty good week this week loading the cave. So we're just under 225,000 bat locked up in the bat cave. So like less than 700 bat from hitting 225,000 bat on Solana that's locked up. It's like going to be a good chunk of the percentage of bat on Solana. So it's pretty cool to see that people are still doing that. And like Batter said, I mean, you sit and talk to partners all day every week, and then you get partners in, and you gotta work with the ones that are in to keep them going, and then bringing in new ones. So that's always a ongoing thing. So looking forward to the next batch of rewards program partners. I think we got some good ones coming, so that's always exciting. And obviously we'll share more there. And then rewards still rolling out, and I think we'll get some more numbers on that soon, I think. But so far we're actually just under 28,000 bat holders on Solana, mainly from rewards. So, and I don't know about this month's rewards. I think they should be rolling out now, or if they haven't already, they should be. I don't know. Maybe we can get an update from Chris, but if
Yeah,
they
well,
are, but
Chris is also working to just open it up for everybody too. I think they're doing some
right,
final testing for that right now too. So that'll open it up quite a bit more for anybody that wants it, which is super cool.
yeah, that'll be cool to see. So I'm sure those numbers will jump up even more
Long
and
time coming.
continue to grow. Yeah, it has been a long time coming, but happy that we're almost there. So it's good to see. That's all I got. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Drew. And now for additional updates. So first, the back community call written summaries. So last week we published summary number 55 in English and Spanish in Notion, and also number 54 in Japanese, thanks to the team from Back Community Japan. And the Dave just started working on the Hindi translations again, so we'll have those available very soon as well. He was already helping us with the translations, but unfortunately he had some issues with his setup, but he's back now, so we'll keep you posted about those. Then we started working on a video tutorial for self-custody rewards with Solana a couple of months ago, but we had to make a few adjustments because of changes and updates internally, but the video is coming soon. In English, of course, but I would love to make one in Spanish too, right after the original one is published. That would be very, very nice for the Hispanic community. So yeah, we'll keep you posted about that too. And lastly, I'm very excited to announce that Brave will be sponsoring Crypto Latin Fest in Medellin, Colombia, in August 21st and 22nd. So we'll be doing an ad campaign for the event, and Wilfredo will represent Brave at the booth. I think I'll be attending as well, but I'm not 100% sure, so I'll confirm soon. We just started working on the sponsorship and all that, so I don't have many details to share yet, but I will in the next couple of weeks. We are very, very excited about this. It's a huge event. And yeah. And now for highlights of the week on X. These were the posts that deserve to be highlighted this week. So first, Keith, you know Keith, who's always rooting for us, sharing, and he also writes articles about Brave. I mean, he's now an influencer on X, or more like a celebrity, I would say. But I love that he always replies to questions or just posts about Brave in general. We really, really appreciate that. And we have more posts from Imperceptive, Liam, Nate, and Ferox. They are all chill and brave. So thank you so much for the support and for sharing love and sharing the support. And that's all for me. And now I think it's Gutson, go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Paula. nice updates, everybody. I really like the Guillaume looks extra nice in the lion suit. Hello, everybody. My name is Godson. I usually do like the African ambassadors update of the week, but this week I'm doing a rewards partner program update. I might do it weekly, but I may not. But yeah, most of you guys saw last month. Barry was one of the projects on the rewards partner cohort, and this is a project that I co-founded with a bunch of other people. And I just wanted to take a couple slides, like 3 or 4, and just kind of like go in depth about what it is and what we do, and why it's a good place for the community, right? So just a quick intro. So BerryDEX is a decentralized multi-chain exchange, and I also have to mention that it's a non-custodial multi-chain DEX, right? Because when you say DEX, you kind of assume that it is like people it's inferred that it's non-custodial, but someone asked me yesterday, I think it was Scott, was like, is this custodial or non-custodial? I'm like, well, it's non-custodial, but the Berry project includes a bunch of things, including like the coin, the Berry token, the Berry DEX, and a bunch of future things going on. But yeah, next slide, please. So real quick, I'm just gonna explain how to actually use the DEX, and kind of like go into detail about what makes it special. So Berry DEX is a multi-chain DEX, like I said. So it's kind of a little bit interesting to use, just because when you have this issue of like being able to like deposit from like 10 chains, you kind of have to like decide how to like balance all of that. So to use BerryDEX, you just you have to connect the wallets, select the chain you want to use, select the wallets of that chain, and then sign in to actually log in by signing a basic login contract. So, but the thing that's like worth stressing is this like login wallet you use. This is the authority wallets, right? So it that's the one that you use to make trades on all the chains. That's the one you use to authorize with withdrawals. That's the one you use to like do pretty much everything. You only need another chain to like make deposits and then send withdrawals to. So it's kind of important that people understand that, just because over the past week, a bunch of people have been asking like, "Oh, I don't understand how this works," but that's just the thing, right? Connect the wallets, pick a chain, select the wallet, and then log in, and that login wallet, that's the authority wallet that you're going to be able to use for all the other chains. And you can see all the chains that we offer there: Algorand, Arbitrum, Avalanche, Base, BNB, Ethereum, Optimism, Polygon, and Solana. So, the cool thing is like not only can we list like coins from these chains, we can also list coins from multiple chains against each other. So we can make a pair of like an AVAX coin against a Solana coin, or whatnot. And we have a unified USDC ecosystem, so you can deposit USDC from pretty much all these chains and use it to trade anything on the DEX, and then withdraw to any other chains. Actually, people have been just using the DEX to just kind of move money. They don't even want to trade nothing. They just put in a bunch of USDC from ETH and then withdraw it to AVAX.
This is bridging.
Yeah, man. It's funny how people use stuff like that. Like, I was using that for what was it? I think it was like, oh gosh, I can't remember. But they had like a bridge that was pretty good. I was using it for that too, like I think Maya or something.
Yeah, they've just been doing that. Unfortunately, we don't make any money off of
that.
So it's a nice bonus, but it's just like, damn, every time
It's
I look at the
volume, man, volume. No, I was kidding.
Every time I look at the transactions, I'm like, oh, what that? Oh, that guy just moved 50 grand through the unified USDC, but we didn't make a single dollar of that swap.
So
But
is
yeah,
that that's the official like, because I've talked to Circle too about this. It's cool to see that you guys have implemented the unified pooling or whatever they're calling it, like for liquidity.
Yeah. So, not to compare, but if you were, everybody loves, Hyperliquid, right? That's like the darling of crypto right now. But to like, deposit on Hyperliquid, you can only deposit USDC on Arbitrum, I believe. And then you can deposit like Bitcoin, but that's it. You can't really deposit anything else from any other chain or whatnot. But this is something like that we can do that pretty much absolutely no one else in the space at the moment can. So we have some edge that will hopefully catch on and work out. Yeah, next slide, please. Right. So to deposit, it's pretty much the same thing. You go to the accounts tab, you select the token, you select the wallet, and then you approve transaction. And the way it pops out in that picture in the upper hand right corner, that's how it's gonna always look like every time you sign a transaction, because you have to sign every time you deposit or withdraw, when you log in or even trade. Even though you can set up like a trading key and not have to sign every time you trade. If you're new to the ecosystem, it's probably best to just kind of like sign every time you trade, just so you feel comfortable with the fact that it's a decentralized exchange and all your funds are your own, and no one's gonna hack you or whatever and take all your money. Next slide, please. Right. So finally, you've logged in, you've deposited, and you want to trade. This is what the actual like trading desk looks like. The UI. Right now, you're looking at a BAT USDC pair on the DEX, and it currently has no trading history. So, I'm making it a challenge to everyone in the community. Just rush there and be the first to claim the first trade. Right? I remember, back in those days when Bittrex and Poloniex were still like the big thing. Every time they'll list something, I'd rush to be the first person to go make the trade, because then I can always go back to like CoinMarketCap and be like, hey, look, I'm actually the guy who traded. I'm the guy who traded Zcash for 7 BTC or whatever. I mean, I only did it. I only did it with like, I think it was like $50 worth of BTC at the time. But I know that I was the first, and no one can take that from me. So I figured I wouldn't do that here. I'll just leave it up to the community. But the more interesting thing is, if you look at that list of coins there, above the BAT USDC, you see a BAT pair, which is again something that like absolutely no one else can do. But this is a BAT on Sol versus a BAT on ETH pair. So you can buy BAT on Sol with BAT on ETH and vice versa. And I figured this would be like the what's it called, the killer app. Even though that's kind of that's an interesting phrase.
No, it's cool. It's like a bridge and kind of a port or router for BAT on different chains and stuff.
Yeah, it's a port, a bridge, and like right now,
all in one.
Yeah, right now, pretty much, let's say when on-chain rewards goes out and everybody around the world is getting their Solana on chain, and you don't necessarily want to go log into some exchange that has you like do several steps of KYC and logging in and this and that, and you just want to go swap your BAT for another BAT, some from one chain to another, or even with USDC, then you can just kind of like follow the steps, right? Just log in, deposit, trade, withdraw. And that's it,
super
right?
cool, because we've been talking with some different networks too about ways to do like growth and campaigns with the offer wall and stuff. And some of them have been around like, okay, well, what are ways we can get BAT liquidity on your network? And so people went and they did a quest on network A or whatever and got bat there, they could, use it with you guys and pair it back over to the other destination if they want. It's pretty awesome.
Right. If there's enough interest, right? If there's like BAT on any of these chains that we currently offer, we can also make markets for those too, right? So if somebody wants to, I forget what I think we're on 5 chains right now, which is like near.
There's a bunch there, man. Oh yeah, BAT. Yeah, like I think BAT's on at least 5.
Binance, Polygon, AVAX,
Right.
Solana,
So
obviously, ETH. Yeah.
BNB chain.
Right. So we can make, the BAT on BNB, market with like a BAT on Sol, and we can make the same thing with like the BAT on, Polygon and so on and so forth. So
That's awesome.
it's like, in the future, if that's something like the community is interested in, it can all be arranged. But yeah, that's it. That's the quick. Yesterday I did an actual demo and it was kind of spazzy. So this time I figured I'll just do slides. But yeah, thank you everybody. If there are any questions, I would love to answer. But that's it.
Any questions for Godson about Barry? It's super cool, man. Like, thanks for doing that, putting BAT on.
My pleasure.
So can you just like withdraw BAT from any chain that it's onto the others?
Right. So because it's only BAT on ETH and BAT on Sol that we have listed at the moment, those are the only 2 you can withdraw from, right? So, let's say you wanted to, move over from like ETH to Sol, right? You would just go on there and then trade your BAT on ETH for BAT on Sol and then withdraw to a Sol address, right? And you would do this with the Authority wallet, like I said, right? So if you use like an ETH Authority, wallet, when you withdraw, it would ask you for the address, and then you put a Solana address in there and click withdraw. So.
But in theory, if someone just for the lols just put a cheeky bit of BAT on each chain, could you just switch chains really quick?
Yes, I mean you would still have to trade it, right? This is not like the USDC unified. Yeah, you would have to trade the BAT, right?
Oh, so it would still be going through like an order book.
Yeah, it'd
Right.
probably be much more like much faster than like having to go through bridging it, though, I would imagine.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I'm comparing it to.
Bridging it would be very difficult at the moment, and then if you try to swap it, then you would actually suffer. But with an
Yeah,
order
what do the fees look like too?
Yeah, the fees right now are very competitive. So like Binance is like we're practically using like the industry like standard, which is Binance for all the markets, right? Not to say that we won't like have some incredible looking fees in the future, like if some like shitcoin got really popular or something, and you knew this had like maybe 2 or 3 months in it, then yeah, we could list that with like some steeper fees, but right now, everything else is like 2.5 basis points, something like that.
Nice. Right on. That's fantastic, guys. Yeah. Any other questions for Godson on Barry? Cool. Let's see here. We can open up the floor. Folks want to talk about anything or questions or any thoughts? We're actually going to be putting out a call to action, I think, for some testers. We're getting very close to announcing the Pay with BAT stuff. So I think we might put a call out to ambassadors, but maybe in the Discord too, for some testing on it in the next couple of days. Also,
did you say Pay with BAT?
Yeah, Pay with BAT.
That's cool.
Yeah, I know.
Talk about a long time coming.
Hey, amen, amen. Better late than never. And then, yeah. Also, separately, if there are folks that are interested, we're working on some user testing with the Zcash community too, on some of the user experience stuff. They're going to test out with users that are new to Brave. But then I think on our side, we were going to try and get like, 5 to 10 people that were familiar with Brave and BAT, but maybe haven't transacted with Zcash before to participate in some user testing. So if anybody's interested in that, I think we'll put a call out to the ambassadors on that, or in the Discord or something like that. But that would be cool. It's basically, it should be pretty simple. I think they're kind of a one-to-one study, and there'll be a person there kind of asking questions and having you walk through process and then getting feedback and all of that. And this will help us a lot on both sides. One, on people's understanding around how Zcash works, and they have transparent and anonymous, or shielded transaction types, and then also it's going to help us out with a lot of identifying gaps in the user experience and things like that, that we might have not been thinking about when you have fresh eyes. Fresh eyes are always good. We just did a round of bug fixes on it, or the team did, over the past week or so, and based on more fresh eyes looks at this stuff, and I think it's good to do in general. So I think it's an important feature that we are shipping, where having shielded payment options or transaction options in a private browser is a good thing. So we'll keep an eye out for that, and what else we got going? There's a couple. I think I don't know, Sherelle, if you're here, if you want to share a bit about maybe what's coming up with Ubisoft, or maybe Batter, or both of you guys, like with the stuff in Cannes.
Hey,
I mean,
so
put you on the spot.
Oh, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you great.
Great. We have an activation coming up with Ubisoft at ETHCC in about 2 weeks. And we are going to be on Decentralized Bay with them, and they are going to be promoting their new game, Captain Laserhawk. It's out now, but they're going to have a reboot coming up. So there are going to be some special activations with BAT for BAT community members. And then we will send out some more information on the event as we get closer to it.
Yeah, they're doing some like cool characters, right, or something like that.
Yep. So if you're not familiar, Captain Laserhawk was a video game based on another video game, and then it was a TV show that Ubisoft did on Netflix. So if you're interested, you can go see that. And so right now, they are inserting into the game a few of the characters from that TV show, which are also playable in-game characters. And then after that, they're going to start working with us to also put a Brave Lion in the game. So if you haven't checked it out, it's edenonline.ubisoft.com. There will be a big announcement coming about this in the next week or so, maybe 2 weeks. I'm not going to hold myself to a week. And so once that all comes out, we'll just be sharing that with the community and everyone else.
Cool. Yeah, it's awesome. That's a bunch of folks have been working on both teams around that one and getting that one put together. So it'll be cool to see that one come together. And Ubisoft was going all out too. They really were all about including us in this thing. And team's been doing some really good work on putting the dots together for that and making it happen. So keep eyes peeled for that. Super cool to see. That's another interesting one, where Battern pulled them in. And then once they were in, Sherelle and Jenny and Shez kind of all work together with both sides to kind of make it happen. So it was super cool team effort to see there. And if anybody's going to be around in New York on the 19th, I think, and want to go to an event that we're going to have, if we're putting a call out to ambassadors or people in the community that might be interested in doing that in New York City, let us know. Hit up Jenny or Battern or any of us over DM, and we'll give you some more details on that. Anything anybody else want to talk about? Floor's open. See Ray, good to see you.
Yeah, long time no see. How you been?
How you been?
I'm all right. Was out touching grass a little bit.
Hey, that's good. That's healthy. Touching grass is great.
Yes, indeed. And so I know I have a lot of catching up to do. I heard you guys talking a little bit on chain earlier, but do we have any big ETAs or updates on that as far as when it should be more readily available for people to switch to or kind of enroll in?
Yeah, so I think that they're working on like some final testing on that right now. So to imagine, like, I'm hoping in Christopher, I'll have Christopher confirm this too, but I would imagine within the next month, this should be out for people to like just go ahead and pick. Yeah, but Chris is working on a write up around that. And I'll have him come join the call next week too, and give some more color on that.
All right, awesome. And I guess the follow-up question may have to wait till next week then as well, but do we know what the plans are with ads? Like I saw where Chris had put out some posts to say that there will no longer be ads in Brave News. For
Oh yeah,
example. And I'm trying to find out, is it only Brave News, or I think to this point we still haven't had like search ads available for people on rewards? Are we doing away with that? What are we thinking about going forward?
Yeah. No, so the newsfeed one is basically like there's a couple things we're trying with newsfeed. Like one, it's basically like there's a small subset of users that are using the newsfeed anyway, and we're trying to do there is basically like the amount of rewards users on newsfeed was even smaller. So like by the time you get it down, it's kind of a really low volume unit on the ad side, and we're thinking like for adopting that, like part of the effort there is to kind of almost let news just run off the client like a feed basically. And I think that it was one really kind of a low volume unit. We're considering like bringing it back like when we get a lot more scale adoption out of the news feature, because right now, like for the amount of volume it does, doesn't really make a ton of sense to like have it as like a sales point, because you end up getting interest and it's like a low volume where people are like, oh, okay, like that's not really helpful so much. And so yeah, like that piece is that's part of the reason why we're doing it. It's also like if we're gonna add in this, it's doesn't hurt to like for the free leg just like have it as an ad-free feature and see how that affects the take rate on it too, and adoption there. And so yeah, it frees us up to work on other areas like adding more improvements to the offer wall and looking at different reward options, etc., and some of the other plans that we have going ahead. And then the search side too, like I think it's still nothing's ruled out there. There's not all the regions are using search ads at this point too. So it's still like an area where we're building up the regions that we're going to monetize that in before doing, more of a broader rewards rollout on that front. So more updates to come on the search side. And then also just in general on the offer wall and the reward stuff, there's some other additional BAT rewards like work going on that we'll be releasing some more info on soon there too. So we can cover some of this with Christopher either next week as soon as I can get him on. I'm going to make sure he's not out of office next week, but we can cover some of this when Chris comes back on and go into some more detail on that.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah. Guillermo, you got a hand up. How you doing, man?
Hey, doing well. So far, so good.
Good.
Considering the current limitations that we have on BAT liquidity on Solana, are we planning on onboarding BAT into other chains like AVAX or Cardano?
Yeah, I mean, I think we are like it's something where we're talking with other networks about it. We're talking with some L2s about it too, and some of the dApps for the rewards. partner program as well. I think that like we want to get BAT on additional chains, and for the actual rewards payouts too, we're evaluating different options on that front, and we're in some discussions with some different networks as well about rewards options there. So more to come on that, but it's something it's in the roadmap. We want to add more BAT rewards options, and then also part of what we're doing with rewards partners, some of the ones that we've onboarded, we're talking about, ways that we can work together that involve getting more BAT liquidity onto Solana, and then to other networks as well. So more to come on that. Like the rewards partner program is great. We're getting partners on, and then part of getting them on is to like have some initial engagement around the program, but then also one of the things we're having Shez do as a part of the team now is to like engage with each of the partners that are onboarded around additional offers, and Sherelle's been doing some of this too, and Jenny as well. But like also like we've been getting the partners together into like a channel where we can start to like have the partners collaborate too, and like we'll put like resourcing around like promoting like cross promotions with partners too within the offer wall. So like you could get partners like dueling together or combining forces on something where we can bring some additional liquidity as part of those promotions too. So more to come on that, but yeah, I hope that helps. Bows, you got a hand up too.
Hey, can you hear me okay?
You can hear you great, man. Welcome.
I'm doing well. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure, because sometimes when I take calls in the car through Brave Talk, occasionally it's a little iffy. I know you got mentioned, the full rollout of on-chain rewards, which implies, a lot of different regions maybe getting back rewards more fully for the first time in a while. Do we have anything in place to ensure that there's actual ad volume in those regions when this happens? Because I guess it's could be a little bit of a chicken and egg problem, in that to have people feel like it's makes sense and it's a working system. You have to have ads, but to have ads, you also have to have users to see those ads. So I wasn't really sure kind of what the situation was with that. I don't know if y'all partner with like regional agencies that can help you with that, or like how you are doing it. Could you shed some light?
That's helpful. Like like one, there's been we've been working on some relationships with some regional partners that can help sell the inventory, and the sales team's also been kind of revamping strategy on the new tab takeover and other sales points too. So yeah, I mean, like we need to get sales up for sure, and I think it's not going to block us from offering it up, because that's kind of the important thing to have available. And then yeah, you're totally right though. I mean, like we need to increase the sales volume globally. There's been a lot of like in general like ad sales was taking a hit toward the beginning of the year, just around a lot of stuff that's been happening, but we're seeing sales pick up, so it should be something that gets better. But we're also like one of the big when I'm told, like there's a big effort on the sales side around focusing on some of these regional partnerships where we can get regional sales going more aggressively, because we have a lot of users in different regions that are not being catered to, that we need to cater to. And yeah, it'd be a great thing. And part of this too is we're also like I know like we're doing some more engagements in Latin America and in other parts of the world too. Like part of that is also around like, can we get regional partners on for the partner program and kind of like bring them into the fold there as well, which would be part of the kind of the broader term. It's a good question. Battern, you got a hand up?
Yeah, I was going to say, does having the rewards on chain versus going to via a custodian kind of streamline the process on our end, in that we don't have to deal with anyone else? It kind of like more the BAT's going directly from the advertiser to us and the user without any middleman at all.
I mean, it's definitely more to the vision, right? Like of the original vision of it. I think though, we're still in a place where some people just want a custody through a partner, as weird as that sounds, and not everybody is like down with like self custody yet. But I think that's something that you'll see these things move over time. From our side, it's obviously like we're set up for both at this point. So the partners that we have are we're integrated with, and so it's okay. I think like obviously like having people self custody is most ideal, and getting them to do it through Brave Wallet's even better for us, and especially and it could be something where what I'd love to do when we get this fully rolled out is like get a bunch more user studies going where we could like get people in and that haven't ever self-custodied before and like run them through kind of the rewards process and claims process and all of that, and get more of that feedback from them. That's part of what we're trying to do with the Zcash community too. But really we need to like streamline this and get it so that your wallet should be as easy as your Google Pay or Apple Pay, right? Like that should be the kind of standard we aim to hit. And yeah, like but as far as like we're concerned, I mean, we're set up for both, and it's not like a huge thing. It's easier for users that want to do it. We need to find out like why everybody wouldn't want to do it, and what we need to do to make the wallet work best for them. C-Ray, you had a hand up, and then we'll go to Cribble Resistant.
Yeah, so what I was going to talk about for LATAM and everything, we talked about expanding. I have been seeing a lot more requests of people hoping to have like support pages for them in their native languages, like Spanish and Portuguese and everything. So far, it seems like we don't have it. Is that something I should just bring up to Matt and Steven and have them try to create something separate like they do for the Japan thing? Or who would we need to bring that up to perhaps have someone that focuses where we can have the whole area nothing but like Spanish and Portuguese?
That's a great question. I know, Paula, have you talked with Matt or Steven about this? I would imagine that you've run into this too, doing events and things in Spanish and Portuguese speaking countries. What do you think, Paula?
Yeah, so for example, for LATAMing and Spanish and Brazilian Portuguese, we have been doing localization with Andy. He's the guy who focuses on localization in general. But if it's for, sorry, my pup is just,
okay,
biting me. Sorry. No, I was going to say that we wanted to do more of that, of course, to cover more regions, to cover more languages, because that's something we've been focusing on for a while now. And we started with Spanish and with Portuguese, Brazilian Portuguese. But we wanted to involve ambassadors to do that too. And we're open, and we have been doing some translations, I believe, in Swahili and Hindi, and I believe in Polish, but I don't remember. Like I'm not completely. Yeah, I'm not. I don't know if I'm not sure if I'm wrong. If I'm right, but yeah, that's definitely something that we need to focus on more. But that's on the process right now.
Cool.
Sorry, if you don't mind, just to follow up real quick to let you know what I'm talking about, though, is like on Brave Community. So if anybody ever comes in for issues and they're posting in Spanish or Portuguese, typically they only get English responses from like Matt or Steven or Evan. And they can get frustrated on that because it's often coming through like a web translation. And that's part of what I was talking about.
Oh, I see.
Where like Japan has their own section, and then I forget the name right now, but they actually have a designated support agent who speaks Japanese who handles the Japan thing. So that's what I was asking.
Got it. Okay, that makes more sense. So yeah, I don't know, Paolo. Like, maybe that's something we should kick around too. Like, if there's any ambassadors that are Spanish speaking that might want to help with support, or if we have somebody on support team that can liaise with them or something.
Yeah, absolutely. And we do have some ambassadors helping us with that. Luis is one of them. He helps responding sometimes on Discord, and I've seen X responses as well. And we also have a specific section, well, a channel for Spanish, and sometimes we get questions there, but it's not super active. But that's something we can focus on, and I can definitely talk to the LATAM ambassadors, and I can do that too as well. Sometimes
I've got a call with Steven next week, I think, or the week after maybe, and I can take a note to bring it up with him too.
No, 100%. Let's talk about that.
Sounds good. All right, Cripple Resistance.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, no problem. Cripple Resistance, you got a hand up. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Good to hear from you.
You too. Thank you. Why can't we take the Brave news and bring it up more on the main page? I mean, why can't we put it in a panel on the side or something? Because people like me are too lazy to scroll down, and if we get them interested a little in the Brave news, they might be more apt to scroll down more.
Yeah, that's a good piece of feedback, and I think like part of this effort, one of the reasons like we're kind of refocusing on the news feed, like we could take this back to the team, because I think that we've had some requests around that and around making it more accessible in general. Like, I'd love to be able to like make a what's it called, like a tile icon, like a on where I could just like launch Brave News and just use that too. Like, it'd be super easy. And then I know these things are happening. I'll take that note down for the team.
I mean, it's an issue of taking ad revenue away from main sponsors.
No. That's not holding it back at all. I think that a lot of it is mostly around like having I think like there's been some changes around how the news feed will function, and then two, just getting people on it to work on those adjustments and getting feedback and things like that. So it hasn't been a thing around sponsors. There were some discussions around like making sure that it's almost like treating it much more like a feed than something where we're moderating, sources and stuff. And so there was some work that went into that, like, because we don't want to be seen as like, we want to kind of be disintermediated from kind of like source selection and stuff like that. But I think like these usability items are like really important. And there was a lot of focus around like trying to kind of like not let it get in the way, but maybe there's a better way of doing this, and we'll take this back to the team.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Bash, you got a hand up. What's up, my man?
Yeah, I also just want to know, have y'all kind of analyzed your strategy for how you're going to do messaging around when on-chain rewards like opens up globally? Just because, I know gas fees, that might not be intuitive to all new users or people first trying it, or how you are going to kind of handle some of that.
Yeah, I know that Christopher's working on a draft for some of the initial messaging, but one thing we could do is maybe we could bring it to the at least to ambassadors or maybe somewhere else to get a read on it and get some feedback before we ship it more broadly too.
Yeah, I think that'd be good. I mean, it probably wouldn't be something that takes a ton of time for ambassadors to review too. But
that'd be good, yeah.
But yeah, it's just something I was thinking about, because I know that that's an area where like even just like the visual displays could be important.
Yeah, totally. And we could use feedback from people too on that. I have a call with him later. I'll mention it to him on that call.
Good deal.
All right. Well, we're just about at the top of the hour too. So many thanks for everybody for joining. Good job filling in for Jenny today on the slides team, and thanks Godson for the demo on the berry stuff. We'll be back 1 week from today, same bat time, same bat channel. Until then, see you all online. Have a great day, and talk to you all soon.
See everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Enjoy the June.